Also with us, Director of Research at the Government Accountability Institute, Seamus Bruner. And also with us, our in-studio special guest, John Burnett, who is a business and political analyst. John Burnett, I'll start off with you first. Are the American people buying what Biden is selling? I mean, I don't know. Like, does he eat ice cream more or lie more? Which one is more prevalent?
No one's buying it. Not people in Hollywood, not people in terms of in Detroit with the three automakers. No matter where you go and no matter who you talk to, they all say things are too damn high. Mm-hmm. Why? Because Bidenomics brought everything down. We were energy independent. People were paying less at the gas pump, and people were paying less for groceries. Everything was less. Now everything is more, and now places like New York City or New York State wants to impose more taxes in the form of migrant tax.
Right.
So they're creating more taxes. And like you said, inflation is a hidden tax. It's a thief that pulls money out of your pocket, but you don't see it.
Right. And people don't realize that this all started with Biden's energy policy on day one, shutting down that Keystone pipeline. We went from being energy dominant to now dependent on our adversaries. So anything that has to do with transportation has now gone up because of Joe Biden's energy policies. That's where it all started. Totally. And then, of course, printing money, giving it away. Peter, Biden and his cronies, they're trying to demonize Trump's economic policies. But love Trump or hate him, his policies, they worked. Walk us through it.
Well, essentially, he cut taxes, but they kept the government spending under reasonable control, so we didn't have much inflation. What Joe Biden did was that he raised spending a great deal. He didn't raise taxes to do it. The Federal Reserve printed money to basically buy the bonds, and that turned into inflation, all that liquidity out there. The thing about it is the economy is not all that bad if you look at it in the present tense. It's growing. Unemployment is low. Inflation is not that bad as compared to a year ago. The problem is that we haven't made up all the lost ground, all the real income that we've lost, the purchasing power as a consequence of the big burst of inflation. And most of the benefits of Bidenomics go to a very few people. You know, if you're involved in building one of those semiconductor plants, or if you're in the auto workers union. But most folks, you know, are not going to get a piece of this pie. Instead, they've got the higher prices. So, you know, the economy is better, but it's just not good enough for Joe Biden. And to say that Bidenomics was a failure, I mean, people might not like Donald Trump for various reasons, but it's hard to say that the pre-pandemic period was not a prosperous period. It's just not an argument that rhymes. The real problem he faces, though, is the pandemic savings have run out this month. Mm-hmm. And now we're going to see less consumer spending. The student loans to start being paid back again. He no longer has a large strategic petroleum reserve to lower gas prices and so forth. So now things are going to get rougher, just as he goes into that period where they really evaluate a president.
Peter, real quick, though, how can you say that the economy is better, though? We just saw a $6 jar of mayonnaise there. We're seeing the prices at the pump. People are dipping into their 401ks just to make ends meet. I mean, and they can't even afford their minimum credit card payments anymore.
Right.
I understand.
Credit card debt is at an all-time high.
All-time high.
At a time when interest rates are high. Well, so I don't understand it, Peter.
Yeah.
When it's into a business cycle, you're always at an all-time high because the economy's bigger, prices are higher, so people have bigger balances. But the thing is to say that it's a mess is not reasonable. If you're a Republican and you're running for president, you have to be able to hit them where it hurts, which is on inflation and prices. To pretend that unemployment is 6% instead of 3.5% doesn't do you much good. As I read the situation right now, Donald Trump doesn't win.
Okay.
Why? He's not picking up the middle-class voters in the swing states. He's making his gains in states that he lost by a lot or gained by a lot, even though he's running even. In order to do that, you're going to have to address those people about the real facts. You've got to be just as accurate as Joe Biden is inaccurate.
Okay. Seamus, now, if you do, as he mentioned, if you look at the inflation rate, if you Google it, it does come up as like 3.7, 3.5%. But that number is really deceptive. Goods we purchase on a regular basis are astronomically higher than what we're used to, as we're seeing with groceries. Everything's up about 20%. And then you're seeing the interest rates alone squeezing out the middle class into non-existence. You have a married couple my brother-in-law just got married. They can't afford to buy anything because the interest rates are so high. So the Democrats, they're manipulating these numbers and lying to the American people. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Lydia. They're playing, funny games with the numbers. The fuel prices are they're up 10% over a month. And Biden is canceling oil leases in Alaska. His energy policy is terrible. And I think, he plays fast and loose with the truth a lot. You see that with the family business dealings. And I think the same deal here with Bidenomics. You really can't say anything else. I think he's trying to fake it until he makes it. But there's no sign that's going to work. Like you said, I mean, people can't buy houses right now. A lot of people I know are trying to buy houses. That's a big problem. People are moving from these northern states, these blue states. They're trying to get into southern states. And so, I mean, we'll see what happens, but it's not looking good. The credit card debt, the student debt is up in every category. So, it's not looking great.
Real quick, I want to get your reaction, Peter, as well as your John Burnett. So what Peter said there about that Trump can't win because he's not winning. He's only winning in the swings. I want your reaction to what he said there.
Excuse me, I didn't say he can't win. I said where he stands right now, he doesn't win.
Okay, however, he doesn't win. Okay, so real quick, because I don't want to. Okay, so he doesn't win. What do you think, Seamus and John Burnett?
Peter, I have a lot of respect. Okay, go ahead, Seamus.
Yeah, well, it's the Trump economy. Everybody remembers it was before COVID. It was great, and now it's not great. It's a pretty simple question. How were you better off 4 years ago than you are today?
Okay, you.
I have a lot of respect for Peter, but the working class families, they're not sitting in their offices looking at pie charts, looking at regression analysis and all these other things. What they're looking at is their bank account, and they're looking at their statements and seeing how much debt they have and the interest rates that they're paying.
And their grocery bills.
So Trump has a great chance.
All right, thank you guys so much. More Sunday Agenda after this.